Hello, everyone. It is a pleasure to be here with each and every single one of you yet again, as we not only continue to talk about sports, but also traveling. Okay, and right now we're in a time, unfortunately, due to this COVID-19 situation, where we cannot really travel as far as we would like to, but that's okay because that's where I come in personally because I've had the luxury and the honor of traveling all over the world. Okay, and last video we came out with, we started talking about my trip to Spain through the Camino de Santiago, and how some of the training that I had to do involves a lot of the physical activity, right? And so since we talked about that last time, I would like to take it a next step further, okay, and talk about actually getting over to Spain itself, okay. So I go to school down in North Carolina, and so what we did was we flew American Airlines. Huge shout out to American Airlines. Okay, they run a great system. All of our flights that we took through them for this trip were absolutely incredible. So we flew out of Greensboro, North Carolina. We flew from Greensboro to Miami. Okay, so it's neat to say, hey, we went to Miami for our fall break, at least for a little bit anyway. So we went from Miami and then over to Spain. Okay, and so hold on, let's backtrack a little bit. So when we got to the Greensboro airport, we had our college, give us a ride to the airport since we're so close to them, which is great. Uh, and I was one of three people in our group of about 12 folks or so that checked our bags. Okay, so there were three of us total that checked our bags. I was one of them, and so it was great. I didn't really have any bag. I only had my backpack going to the airport, and that was it. So it was super easy. Okay, nothing much to carry. I thought it was awesome. So if you ever have an opportunity to check your bag, check your bag. It's worth it. A lot less stress, a lot less hassle. Honestly, I think it's a great deal, especially if it's included already with your flight. Okay, just do it. So we flew from Greensboro to Miami, which is a pretty quick flight. Definitely enjoyed it. Miami's a cool city, so it's nice to be there at least for a tiny bit. And then we had a red eye flight from Miami right over to Spain. Okay, it's crazy because our this particular leg of the trip, our flight kind of went back all the way up north and then dogleg to the right over to Spain over the Atlantic. So I did fly by my hometown of Boston. Okay, so I was extremely pumped about that. Kept telling all my friends how excited it was that we're gonna at least fly by Boston. Okay, because Boston's a pretty cool spot. I mean, let's be honest. Probably the coolest city in the whole United States. And if it wasn't for Boston, there probably wouldn't be United States. So huge shout out to us. So once we got to Spain, we had like one more flight to get to our official destination to start our hike. And so we got off to the main airport. Okay, then we had a little taxi and a quick walk over to our plane. Okay, it was really neat because I kind of felt like the president of the United States a little bit when we were able to walk up the stairwell to our airplane, to our seats. So of course, when I got on the airplane, I had to give a quick wave and be like, "See you later, alligator." And so that was awesome. And that was really pretty short flight. And of course, at that point, traveling so much on an airplane, I ended up falling asleep, which felt great. Um, and so once we got to the final airport of the day, or of that trip, that myself and the two other folks were at the carousel. We were waiting for our bags. Okay, we were waiting. And it turns out that all the bags were taken, and the three of us were still standing there waiting for our bags. So it turns out that they never made it onto that last leg of the flight. Okay, so we went to the airport concierge. Okay, and we talked to her. We gave her our information. And what was crazy enough was that there were so many other people waiting for their bags as well. Okay, so some miscommunication, because we took essentially two different airlines for this trip, but obviously like all of our bags had like the sticky tags on them, describing each leg of our trip, where we're going, and they obviously all these stickers have the barcode on them, so they can scan these sticky tags, and the computer system will bring up our original airport, our final airport, exactly where we're going in between. And yeah, so us three, as well as a lot of other folks that were on our same flight, never got our bags. And so, we ended up having about an hour, hour and a half drive from the airport to our first hotel that we were staying at. And so we went to the hotel. Everybody else unpacked their bags, okay, and we all got into our rooms. We went down to dinner, and I'll be honest with you, that ride was probably the longest ride that I've ever taken, because I was so upset and distraught that I did not have basically all of my personal belongings except for a couple things in my backpack. One of those things was a book, and another one of those things were my hiking boots, okay? So I basically had those two things and then just the clothes on my back, okay? And I'll give you a little heads up for the rest of the week. It basically downpoured on us the whole entire week, basically like most of the week, okay? So keeping that in mind, I basically had a short sleeve shirt, shorts, the same pair of socks I had on, the hiking boots in my backpack, and that was it, okay? And so it definitely took me quite a while to kind of, bring my patience down a little bit and kind of get a little less aggravated than I was. But once I started thinking about it, before we even left my school's campus, I was telling myself how much I was wanting to take this trip in simplicity. The whole idea of keeping things simple, really taking a step back in time quite a bit. And I basically turned my phone off for the whole entire week, which is great, because I didn't want to really keep in contact with anybody else. Because our cell phones nowadays, basically control our lives. And I'll be honest with you, right now I'm recording this video for y'all right on my cell phone, okay? So they really dictate how our lives go. And I thought to myself, how awesome would it be if I just kept things simple and didn't use my cell phone? I'll be honest with y'all, it felt great, okay? So we got to the hotel that night, and by the time we got to the hotel, I had, calmed down quite a bit, because I remembered that whole idea of simplicity. Okay, and we, unpacked everything, got into our rooms, kind of chilled out for a little bit, because a lot of traveling, so many things happened. And then we went down to dinner, and we all, just had a great dinner, had a great time. We ended up playing some cards, and then we all went to bed, and then that's where I'm going to end the video for today, because I will talk about our hike portion of our trip starting tomorrow, okay? So I will leave y'all in suspense, okay? So we'll continue these traveling stories, pretty much every day from here on out. And we'll also be continuing our sports stories from here on out as well, okay? And then we'll also be continuing our positivity videos from here on out as well. So we got 3 different series of videos going on here with your own Jason J. Statham, okay? The Stady Dream Team is going on fantastically, wonderfully, beautifully, okay? Here at Statham Sports Ventures, things are starting to ramp up. Things are getting exciting, okay? And it's only the beginning of May, okay? And remember the big competition, that if we get at least 1,000 subscribers and at least 7,500 views by the end of the month, I basically won't shave my facial hair for the rest of the summer, okay? So it's all up to y'all at this point. Tell your friends, have your friends tell your friends, and guess what? Right now is the time to get excited, all right? Peace out, y'all. Have a good one.